Hey guys, so this is your science lecture for today, May 11th. We've been dealing with Newton's laws. I'll recap those now. Newton's first law is the objects in motion will remain in motion in a straight line at a constant speed as long as no forces are acting on them. We can call that inertia. Newton's second law is the acceleration of an object is going to be equal to whatever force you apply to that object divided by the mass of the object. And Newton's third law is that for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, meaning like if you apply a force to a certain object, that object will apply that force back on you. So here in this next section, we're going to be looking at Newton's law of gravitation. It's actually going to be a pretty short one because you understand a good bit of it. I'm going to show you Newton's law of gravitation as an equation that you do not need to know. You don't need to know this, but I just want to show you. This is what it looks like. Look pretty complicated? It's really not. I'm going to show you. Actually, maybe I'll show you. Let me explain it first. I'll show you afterwards. So what it's basically talking about is that there's a gravitational relationship between every single object in the universe. So what does a gravitational relationship mean? Well, what is gravity? Gravity is, as it defines on page F35, gravity is a pulling force, an attraction between Earth and the mass of an object. It's really, and not just the Earth, it's actually something that every object has, and it's based on an object's mass and the distance from the object. Or you can say with like a planet, the planet's mass and how wide the planet is. So basically the distance from that planet's center. And gravity affects us by how far we are away from it and the mass of that object. Like if we were on the moon, it would be the mass of the moon, and how far away we are from the moon is how gravity affects us. So mass and distance. And the mass, and they're actually opposites. The mass, the more mass the planet has, the more gravity it is. But distance is the opposite. The farther distance you are away, the less gravity is on you. Because and you guys remember from early in the year, we learned that mass is just the amount of matter inside of an object. So that's not going to change. But weight is how much gravity is pulling it. The feeling of if something is heavier, has a more weight, it feels like it has a certain feeling to it. You can tell that by the way it feels. And so what that means is gravity's pulling it down more. And so we give these ideas to objects that are in free fall. Free fall is a state of where an object is falling, where we can kind of ignore gravity, and we just deal with it mathematically. You see on page F36, you see that guy sitting there, Isaac Newton, and Isaac Newton, who was a Christian, and the legend goes that he was sitting under an apple tree, and an apple went and hit him in the head, and he, thought of the idea of gravity from that. Who knows if it's really true, but the idea that there's a force pulling objects toward Earth is what came to him, and he came with this idea. So this equation, I can explain it. What we're solving for is a force. There must be some sort of force that's pulling everything down. I mean, think of it. This water ball, okay? I can pick it up, so I can overcome this force. I can stand up out of my chair, so I can obviously overcome the force. It's not like it's sucking me into the floor and I can't possibly get up. However, it is still pulling me down at all times. So we want to measure this type of force acting between two objects. This G right here, This g isn't really important for our purposes, but it's just a number that relates every single object in the universe. All right, and this equation tells us the amount of force of attraction between two objects. Now, it can be the Earth and us, a person, or it could be like this water bottle and this marker, or this water bottle and this book right here. It can be anything. And so what you have to do is to figure out the force between them. You have the mass of the first object and the mass of the second object divided by the distance they are squared. That's all it is. And so it basically, you put in the two objects' masses and how far away they are from one another, and you're able to come up with a force. There's a force of attraction between them. And what that means is that every single object in the universe has some sort of pull, some sort of gravity, some sort of attractive force to something else. You have gravity that you pull things in. But when you think about it, sorry, my eyes are really hurting me right now. I don't know why. When you think about it, you might say, oh, that's really weird. I have gravity that I can pull things toward myself. Yes and no. Think about how big the entire Earth is. Huge, right? And it just pulls this much. The number that we talked about is 9.8. You can just round it to 10 to make it easier. The value is 10. That's how much it pulls us, is 10. Think about how huge the Earth is. Now, comparatively, you as a person are very, very teeny, tiny, right? So think about the amount of gravity you have must be very, very, very teeny, tiny comparatively. And so, yes, you do have some attractive force, some amount of gravity, but it is so tiny in comparison to the Earth. We see on page F37 that it talks about the moon's acceleration. This is another concept that we covered already, is that the moon, if there were no gravity pulling the moon, it would fly off into space, and so the gravity is actually keeping it from flying off into space. Remember, inertia and gravity work together to keep objects in orbit. Interesting. This is a really cool little thing. How can gravity be universal? Which is what I was just talking about. This is called Newton's law of universal gravity. And look at these objects here on page F38. It says the force of gravity between two objects increases as their masses increase. So you see on that graph there, F38, what it's showing you is look at the size of the red arrow. You see object A and objects A and objects B. Obviously objects A are bigger, right? Everybody understands that A's are bigger. So they have more gravity. Sorry. They're going to have more gravity as shown by that red arrow. That red arrow is thicker for A. So what that's showing you is that it's going to have a lot more gravity because A is bigger. It has more mass, has more matter to it. But look at C. Gravity, the force of gravity between two objects decreases as the distance between them increases. So you see C and D. C are closer together, so their red arrow is thicker, it's larger, so there's more gravity there. You separate them for D, and D are farther away. You see the masses of C and D look pretty much the same. The masses look the same, but C is closer, so there's going to be more gravity there. And that's what this formula says. It says the more mass you have, the more force it's going to be. The more distance you have, the less force it's going to be. That's why, we talked about in math, direct and indirect relation. Things on the top, when you get, we kind of talked about this with Newton's second law. When something's on the top, if you remember, I'm going to recap here. A equals F over M. Remember in this math equation, let me show you this one. A equals F over M. When the force gets bigger, the acceleration gets bigger because it's on the top in the answer. If the mass gets bigger, the acceleration gets smaller because it's on the bottom. Things on the bottom make the opposite thing happen. So turning to this, when the masses get bigger, the force of attraction, how much they pull, is going to get bigger as well. Here, r is a distance, radius, it's a distance. And so as the distance gets bigger, it's on the bottom. The opposite thing happens. If this gets bigger, this gets smaller. Okay? So that's saying as masses increase, the force of attraction increases between them. As the distance between them gets bigger, the force gets smaller. And it can apply to any two objects in the universe. So that's actually good for today, for that science. Make sure you watch the lecture, and goodbye.